Welcome to Just Asia, AHRC TV's weekly human rights program. These are the headlines. Indonesian mothers cement feet in protest against factory. New Year amnesty for Burma's prisoners. Pakistani military escalates violence in Balochistan. India's temple fire kills hundreds. Thai court petition against arbitrary government orders. Urgent appeals from Thailand, Indonesia, Pakistan, and Nepal. Welcome to AHRC TV's Just Asia. I am Julia Roblando. Beginning with an environmental protest in Indonesia, 9 mothers from Rembang cemented their feet in front of the Presidential Palace on April 12th. The mothers are calling on President Widodo to stop the development of cement factory in Rembang, Central Java. Located near Tegaldo and Timbrangan village, the area to be developed has 109 springs, 49 caves with fossils attached, and 4 underground rivers that provide good water discharge. The president, however, has said it would be difficult to stop the cement factory development. Without discussing or involving residents in the plans, the local government of Rembang suddenly decided to develop the cement factory, ignoring the environmental damage. Villagers have been fighting against the plan since 2014. On 28 November 2014, local residents peacefully protesting were brutally attacked by thugs, police officers, and military personnel. Most of the protesters were women, and until now, no investigation has been conducted. Just Asia speaks to Bagus Hadi, a human rights defender of Mining Advocacy Network.
Datang melihat bahwa perjuangan ibu-ibu Rembang ini sangat patut untuk diapresiasi. Ini adalah perjuangan yang panjang, yang sebenarnya adalah muara dari tidak hadirnya negara dalam melindungi keselamatan dan ruang hidup masyarakatnya. Nah, kontras sekali dengan janji kampanye Presiden Jokowi waktu itu di depan ribuan korban lumpur lapindo yang dengan tegas menyatakan bahwa negara harusnya hadir sebagai representasi kedaulatan rakyat ketika kejahatan korporasi terjadi. Nah, dalam kasus Rembang ini kan kita melihat bahwa sudah sangat nyata kejahatan korporasi terjadi, bagaimana keselamatan masyarakat terancam oleh industri semen, bagaimana ruang hidup masyarakat dirampas oleh industri semen, tapi negara yang dijanjikan harusnya hadir sebagai representasi kedaulatan rakyat malah berdiri untuk melindungi kepentingan korporasi.
Next, New Year's Day in Burma, April 17th, saw the release of 83 prisoners under a presidential amnesty. According to the statement signed by the president, the release aims for national reconciliation and peace, but does not mention how many of the released are political prisoners. Land and labor rights activists, writers, and journalists are among those freed. The Assistant Association for Political Prisoners says 63 political prisoners were released from various prisons. Student protesters and their supporters were earlier released on April 8th and had the charges against them dismissed. However, there are still political prisoners behind bars which need a State Security Council approval for release. 2 ethnic Kachin men who were accused of involvement in an anti-government armed group but acquitted by the Supreme Court since 17 August 2015 are among the political prisoners still detained. Just Asia caught up with 2 released prisoners, Nay Myo Zin, a rights activist sentenced to 4 years for protesting against the police killing of a farmer, Letpadung Copper Mine Project, and Htin Lin Oo, a writer sentenced to 2 years of allegedly insulting Buddhism.
အခုဆိုရတဲ့လူလူကောင်းဆောင်ဒေါ်ဆန်းစုကြည်ဆိုရတဲ့လက်ထက်နှစ်ပတ်ကျော်ကြာမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ကိုပြန်လဲဆေးလွတ်ပေးလိုက်ခြင်းအားဖြင့်ကျွန်တော်တို့စိတ်ထဲမှာနှစ်ပေါင်းများစွာနှောင့်တဲထားတဲ့ကိုယ်ပိုင်လူခွင့်ရောများနဲ့သက်ဆိုင်တဲ့နိုင်ငံသားအခွင့်အရေးတွေရောပျောက်ဆုံးနေရကနေစတင်အစာပြိုပြန်လဲရရှိတာလာတယ်လို့ဒါပထမဆုံးစခံစားရတာပါအဲ့ဒီတည်းမှာကျွန်တော်ဆိုရင်ဆန္ဒပြမှုတစ်ခုတည်းနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့6ရောက်ဟာဆိုရင်ပေါ့နော်ဆန္ဒပြမှုကေဝတန်ယုံအနီးဆန္ဒပြမှုတစ်ခုတည်းနဲ့မြန်မာတမိုင်းမှာတစ်ခါမှမကြားဘူးခဲ့တဲ့ထောင်ဒဏ်9နှစ်ကျော်အပါအဝင်နောက်ပုံမှန်18ဆိုတဲ့ငင်းစုစီပုံမှန်6ခုနဲ့ဆက်လက်တရားစွဲခံရတဲ့ထူးခြားသောဒီဆန္ဒပြမှုတစ်ခုတည်းကိုပဲပေါ့နော်ထူးခြားသောအရေးယူဆောင်မှုတစ်ခုပြုခဲ့ခြင်းဟာကျွန်တော်တို့ဦးသိန်းစိန်အစိုးရဟာတရုတ်နိုင်ငံရဲ့လွှမ်းမိုးချေလှယ်မှုဩဇာထိချုပ်မှုအောက်ကမလွတ်မြောက်လို့ဒီကျင်းစီဆုံးဖြတ်မှုတရက်ကိုဒီတိခါတရားကင်းမဲ့စွာဆောင်ရွက်ခဲ့တဲ့အနေအထားဖြစ်ပါတယ်
ပြောဆိုတဲ့အခါမှာနိုင်ငံရေးအကြောင်းကိုပြောတဲ့အခါမှာဒီဘာသာရေးတွေလူမျိုးရေးတွေမုန်းတီးမှုတွေဒါတွေကိုဆွဲသွင်းမလာတဲ့ဘူးနော်နိုင်ငံအရေးကိုဆွေးနွေးကြတာဟာနိုင်ငံရဲ့တိုးတက်ကြောင်းနော်နိုင်ငံသားတိုင်းရဲ့အကျိုးစီးပွားဖြစ်ထွန်းကြောင်းတခုနဲ့တခုဟလာတိုင်းရင်းသားတစ်မျိုးနဲ့တစ်မျိုးလူမျိုးတစ်မျိုးနဲ့တစ်မျိုးချစ်ကြည်ရင်းနှီးရာအကြောင်းတွေကိုပဲကျွန်တော်တို့ကပြောဆိုသင်ကြတယ်လက်ညှိုးကွေးတဲ့လက်တွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ကလက်ပန်းလေးတွေနဲ့အနိုင်ယူခဲ့ကြပါပြီကြောင်းလဲကြပါပြီလို့နော်အဲ့လိုကြောင်းလဲပြီးတော့ကိုလိုချင်တဲ့အစိုးရကိုယုံကြည်အားကိုးတဲ့အစိုးရကိုတင်မြှောက်ခဲ့ပြီးပါပြီအဲ့လိုတင်မြှောက်ခဲ့ပြီးတဲ့အချိန်မှာငါတို့တာဝန်တွေပြီးသွားပြီလို့နော်မယူဆလိုက်ကြပါနဲ့ဟုတ်နော်အပြီးတော့ဒီအစိုးရကငါတို့လူအင်ဆန္ဒတွေကိုချက်ချင်းမဖြည့်ရကောင်းလားဆိုပြီးတော့လေအားမလို့အားမရတွေမဖြစ်ကြပါနဲ့ဟုတ်နော်ဒီအစိုးရလုံဆောင်ပေးနိုင်မဲ့အချိန်တွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ပေးကြပါဦး
Next, the Pakistan military is escalating its operations in the province of Balochistan. In a recent aerial bombardment in the Johan area, 35 persons were killed, including 2 women and 5 children. Many houses are being burnt in the search of alleged separatists. According to media reports, more than 100 persons were arrested from different districts and their whereabouts are now unknown. Many districts such as Kalat, Narmik, Johan, Mushkay, Awaran, and Bolan are under the complete siege of state agencies. Women and children are also harassed by state forces during the military operations. The recent military escalation is to establish the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. The project aims to make use of Balochistan's Gawador port, the country's only developed seaport. Any resistance to the project and to assert local control over the province's resources is met with brute force. The security agencies are blaming the Baloch unrest as driven by India after the arrest of a retired Indian naval officer involved in the Baloch insurgency. Moving to India, on April 9th, at around 3 a.m., a massive explosion on the grounds of a 500-year-old temple near Kollam in Kerala killed over 100 people and injured more than 350 people. Initial reports suggest that a cracker fell in the stockpile of firecrackers and splinters from this blast caused a huge explosion, resulting in tragedy. Just Asia speaks to Urmila Pullat, lawyer and alumnus of the University of Oxford, who is working at the India desk of the Asian Human Rights Commission on various aspects of this incident.
It is a responsibility of the temple authorities for sure, because there was a clear order to them that they are not supposed to carry out this display. And it is also the responsibility of the police authorities to make sure that if there is a ban, it cannot take place. And this festival has been going on for decades, and it is very clear what the situation would have been. And it's not as if the police authorities were in the dark about what was going to happen. But I also think that the executive has a hand in all of this, and there needs to be a clear strategy on how to deal with incidents like this in the future, because obviously we have a problem. Yes, we see that there is a tendency to hide under freedom of religion, and freedom of expression whenever these sort of situations come into play, because authorities are very conscious of hurting the sentiments of a religious community, especially when it is a large community. And in this case, we see, because it is a festival that is so popular and such things are so common in Kerala, even police authorities turn a blind eye, because it's a huge community's religious sentiments that are going to be hurt, so-called. And we see that even a little before the incident, one of the villagers in the area actually filed a complaint saying that this fireworks display has been causing damage to her house. She's a heart patient, to her health, and she was ignored. And the dominant group in the area basically threatened her and made her, and it was just ignored by the authorities. So of course, there is a tendency of authorities to simply ignore safety precautions when a huge community's sentiments and etc. are at.
In Thailand, the Law Thai Foundation petitioned the court on April 18th to revoke Order No. 4/2016 issued by the ruling junta, exempting certain businesses from the Town and City Planning Act. The order was issued under Article 44 of the Thai Interim Constitution, giving sweeping and unchecked powers to the military. Similarly, the government issued Order No. 9/2016 on March 7th to amend the law on promotion and protection of the quality of national environment, allowing the cabinet to approve private subcontractors related to transportation, water management, and public health before a full environmental impact assessment is completed. These two orders have allowed and speeded up some mega projects, such as the construction of garbage power plants in areas that were not previously available, like residential areas. Both orders face wide opposition from civil society. Finally, the Urgent Appeals Weekly features several stories from Thailand, Indonesia, Pakistan, and Nepal. In Thailand, Mr. Supoj Kansong, a land rights activist and a key witness to the assassination of Mr. Chai Bontunglek, was shot 8 times by an unidentified gunman on April 8. This is the 5th attempt on the life of human rights defenders in the Klongsai Patana community in southern Thailand. In Indonesia, updated information was documented regarding the death of Mr. Siono while in the custody of Indonesia's anti-terror police unit. An independent autopsy revealed that Siono was tortured to death. Updated information was also reported in the trial of the assassination of Mr. Jopi Teguh Lesmana, an environmental activist. Military judges have convinced the defendant with only light punishment. In Pakistan, a Christian businessman was murdered by Muslim meat sellers looking to grab his land. According to reports, local police officers held a jirga, or an illegal and parallel court in which the victim's family has been forcibly silenced and made to settle. In another case from Pakistan, a father and his 2 sons have been tortured, detained, and forced to pay bribes by the Punjab police over the past 4 years, simply for exercising their right to complain. Police officers in Nepal tortured a man until he fell unconscious. They accused him of making noises at BP Chowk, Nepalganj district, blatantly revealing how routine police torture is in the country. That is all for this episode of Just Asia. For more on these and other issues, please visit www.humanrights.asia or www.alrc.asia/justasia. Thank you for watching and see you next week.